Hi there, this is Jerome Alexa from Pro Site Tutorials. Welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to explain how you can do a professional looking blog similar to the one that you are seeing on your screen. Sure, this blog is about cooking because I really enjoy cooking, but it can be about anything that you enjoy. It can be about dating, it can be about photography, about filming, whatever you want. The strategy to do this website is always the same one. Also for this I use WordPress, which is one of the most famous platforms out there because it's really simple for you to use. You don't need to learn how to use coding, HTML, CSS. You don't need that to do this website. So in this video I will explain how you can do this small slider with really attractive images, because this is something that attracts people to read your content more. Over here you can see the blog section and also a small sidebar where recent posts are actually appearing. And this is the back end of WordPress. Basically this is where you will create everything that you have in your website. These are the options that you will use later on, and sure, I will explain this in more detail. Anyway, this is the front page. Also I will explain how you can categorize your posts. Categories is basically topics. This is a great way for you to actually organize your website. You can see over here on my navigation bar that this is the meat dishes. Once someone actually clicks on it, they can see all of the articles belonging to it. Same thing goes for fish dishes, desserts. Also I'm going to explain how you can create an about page, because everyone who goes to your website, if they enjoy the content that you have, they are always curious about the person that is behind of the website. So this is an about page where you can talk about yourself and also about your business or about your staff if you actually have a team behind of your website, and a contact page where someone can actually go and just leave a message on your inbox talking about whatever they want to talk with you. So that's exactly what you will learn in this video course. You will learn how you can actually do this. So let's get started and let's start building this website. Okay, so now we are in HostGator website, and one of the things that you really cannot escape is getting a web host. It's something that you really need to have so you can have a website on the internet. And a web host is basically a company that provides some space on their computers, or you could also call them servers. And in this space is where you install all of the information belonging to your website. This includes the WordPress platform, the content that you write, such as videos, articles. Everything will be stored on that piece of space that they provide to you. At the same time, this company puts your website on the internet so other people can actually view it. When it comes to this, there are really a lot of companies on the internet, and there are companies that provide this service really cheap, probably for $1 each month. But when it comes to this is really one of the most important parts. It's really choosing a good web host, because if you choose one that is bad, they have a poor customer support, your website is constantly down, then that will really affect the success of your website, and you certainly don't want that. In my case, I use HostGator. They provide a good service and they have a reasonable pricing. As you can see over here below, they provide this service for $3.96 per month, but this really depends on the plan that you decide to choose. So for you to get an account, you just need to press Get Started Now. And over here you can see that you have 3 plans that you can choose from. The first one, which is Hatching Plan, you can see that it's $3.96 per month if you actually choose to use their service for 3 years. But I know that when you are starting out, many times you don't want to use their service for so long, because you probably just want to try it and see if you actually like this company or not. So I recommend for you to go for 1 year or 6 months, and that's really up to you. But as you can see, the pricing changes depending on the time that you decide to use. But in this first plan, you can see that you can only use if you decide to actually just create one website. So if you only have intention of using one website, then you should go for the first plan. However, the one that I really recommend is this one in the middle because you can have unlimited websites. And sometimes when you start out, you only have the idea that you want to have one website, but after a few months, you actually want to build another website, and that's why I actually recommend the baby plan. You also have the business plan, and in this case, the business plan offers you some extra features such as free private CSS, L and IP, and free toll-free number. Sure, it has a different planning because you get some extra features. So I'm just going to choose the one in the middle, and this is the plan that I actually use for my websites. I'm not going to create an account with them because I already have one, but I'm just going to show to you how you can do one. The first thing that you need to choose is a domain name for your website. If you don't know what a domain name is, well, it's really simple. For example, prositutorials.org, that's a domain name. YouTube.com, Google.com, those are all domain names. And a domain name is basically an address for your website. It's how people can find your website and your content and everything that you have in your website online. When it comes to domain name, I recommend for you to choose a brand nowadays. For example, prositutorials.org is a brand name, and the reason why I recommend this is because if you choose a brand name, it's far easier for you to later on expand your website. What happened in the past is people used to use keywords on their domain name so they could get better rankings with the search engines and therefore receive more traffic. A keyword, for example, is when you go to Google and you want to search for something, for example, how to make a website. So you write on the search query, how to make a website, then a listing of websites appear. And the keyword is how to make a website. So what people would do to get better rankings on Google or other search engines is they would insert their keyword, their main keyword, on their domain name. For example, how to make a website. And Google used to give more value to this, but nowadays it's not the case. Actually, they may consider your website more spammable just because you are inserting keywords on your domain name. And also, the reason I don't recommend this is if you actually want to expand this website, it's really hard because your domain name is really bad. So choose a brand name over here for your domain name. So I'm just going to head over here, Prositutorials. And you can see that you have different extensions. You have the .com, which is the most common one, and it's probably the easiest one for people to actually remember. And typically it's used for commercial websites. Also, another thing that I forgot to mention is when it comes to domain names, don't use a domain name that is way too large, such as domain name. Okay, so don't use something that is really large because it's hard for people to remember that domain name. Always remember that people go to your website, so make it easier for them to remember the brand name that you're using. So choose something that is short, that can probably describe your website a bit. And when it comes to extensions, it really depends on the kind of website that you want to build. If you want a commercial website, you probably want to promote a service, a product, or something along those lines, then I recommend a .com. You can also use a .org if you want to do a website where it's a non-profit website. You could use a .org. Also, you have other extensions over here, as you can see. And below you can choose the different planning that you want. In this case, it's the baby one, the cycle that you want to choose. In this case, you probably want 12 months, just like this. And the username for your account. So you want to add a username over here. So I'm going to add a username. Also, you must add, actually, you cannot put capital letters. Also, you need to add a PIN. So I'm going to add over here a pin, as you can see, something like that. And below, it's pretty simple. You need to fill your email, confirm your email, your name, and so on, the common information that you need. And also you can choose between credit card or PayPal. It's really up to you how you want to actually pay your account. And below you have several options that you can add. The one that I really recommend is secure and accelerate your website. I recommend this because this protects your website from fraud and malware, which is a really important thing. And at the same time, it also speeds up the performance for your website. Also, you can choose this one, channel your marketing module. I actually never use this, so I'm not certain if this is a good service or not because I never used this, and when I actually got my account, this still didn't exist. So you might want to check if this is something that you really want to use this feature or not. And the one below, you really don't need this because later on, since you are going to install WordPress, you can actually install a plugin that will automatically do backups for your website. So you really don't need this option. Below, they already put a coupon so you can get a better pricing. And you just need to review this information to see if everything is okay. And below, you just need to read the terms of service and cancellation policy, privacy policy. So you just click on these links and read this information, and then you just need to press checkout. Once you actually got your account, you will receive an email to your inbox with your account information, such as your password, so you can log in to your cPanel. So that's exactly what we are going to do now. Okay, so once you have an account with HostGator and you log into your cPanel, over here you can find a lot of options that allow you to do a lot of things, such as manage your email accounts for your websites. You can also do backups. You can also see the files that you have in your website. Also to manage your domain names, which is over here below. Allows you to manage your domain names, create subdomain names, but you really shouldn't be scared about all of the options that you see over here because most likely you will only use about 5 or 6 of these options commonly. So you really just need a few of them so you can work with your websites. And now we are going to create first an email account for our new website, and this is one of the things that I do for all of the new websites that I create is an email account just for that website. This email account I use later on for my website for people to actually contact me, or also on social media networks such as Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook. I always use this email account for everything related to a specific website that I do. And later on, we are going to install WordPress, which is a platform that will allow us to start creating a fantastic looking website. So for you to actually create an email, you simply go to this section that says mail and you click on email accounts. Okay, so once you click on email accounts, this is the screen that appears. You want to go to this small box and select your domain name or the name for your website, of your website. So the one that I'm going to use is this one, blog.prosotutorials.org, which is a subdomain name that I created just to show to you how you can do a website. And over here I'm going to select the name that I want, which is Jordan at blog.prosotutorials.org. And now I'm just going to add a password. Okay, we have over here a password, and commonly I select unlimited because I don't like to have a limit of space that I can use for my email account. So now I'm just going to press create account, and my account will appear below, which is this one. And now let's just assess it so you can see more exactly how this looks like. So you go over here to more, and you click on assess email, webmail. Okay, Okay, now you have three options that you can choose from. Commonly I use the one in the middle called round cube, but you can also check this one and see which one you actually prefer, but it's pretty much similar to each other. The only thing that really changes is basically the interface. So let's click on it so I can access this email. Okay, so later on you will see the email that you received over here on your inbox, and it's pretty, if you actually ever use any kind of email service, then this one is pretty similar to all others. Okay, so once that is done, now let's actually install WordPress. So I'm going over here to Home just by clicking this small icon. And basically to install WordPress over here, it's really simple. It's just a one-click process. I just need to click, I just need to find the option. So it's this one, quick install. You just need to click on it. Now you're taken to the Mojo Marketplace over here, and you want to search for WordPress, which is this one, install WordPress. So you just click on it, and now you click on this button, install WordPress, and below you want, in this box, you want to select exactly the website where you want to install WordPress. In this case it's this one, and now I'm going to add my email, the one that I just created previously. So, and now I'm going to add a blog title. This part really doesn't matter much, the blog title, because later on you can actually change this using the WordPress options that you have available. And over here you want to add administrator username. This is really important for you to actually remember this, because this is the username that you need to actually log in to the back office of your WordPress website. So I'm just going to add Jordan, a first name and last name. And I'm just going to press this button and install WordPress, which just takes a few seconds to install. Once you have this installed, you will receive your password to your email account. As you can see over here, install complete. Okay, so I have over here on my email the password so I can log into my back office. So let's see how my website looks like at the moment. Okay, this is how my website looks like. Now for you to actually log in, you need to go to blog, in this case blog.prosectores.org. So you would need to go to your domain name, and you just put this small bar in front of it, and you write wp-admin, and you just press enter. And over here you want to add your password and your username. So I'm just going to copy and paste it. It's really important for you to add first a really strong password. You might actually want to change this one. This one over here isn't actually bad. I'm just going to use this one. And you actually want to put remember me so you can more easily log into your back office. And now you just press login, and this is your dashboard, and basically this is where you will start working on your website. So let's start working on it and see how we can actually do a fantastic website. Okay, this is the first page that you will see once you come to your WordPress back office. This is the dashboard. Quite honestly, this is some page that I very rarely use, and very probably later on it's something that you will just forget about. Anyway, when you are starting out, there are a few options that might be quite useful for you. For example, if you want to quickly change the whole design of your website, you can just press this button that says customize your site. The design is basically the layout that you see over here, and at the moment it just doesn't look really good. Later on we are going to change this so we can have a more impressive website. Also, you may want to rate your first post by clicking on this link, add an about page, view your site by clicking on this link below, manage your widgets or menus, all stuff that later on we will talk more in detail, so don't worry. You can turn on or off your comments on your website, and you can learn more about WordPress by just clicking on this link. But that's exactly why you're watching this video, and why I created this video is to actually teach you how to use WordPress, so it's something that you certainly won't need. Below you have this option called Quick Draft, another thing that I really use. But let's say that before you go to work you have this huge idea and you just want to write it down. You can do it using this option, and you just save it as a draft. Once you come at night back to home, you can just go to your draft and read it. That's the only reason why you would actually want to use a quick draft. I'd rather just write a good post. Anyway, below, probably the most useful part on the dashboard is the WordPress news, because you can actually read the latest releases on WordPress, the updates that they made, and so on. At a glance, you can see the number of posts that you have in your website, the number of pages, and below you can see the most recent published posts on your website. Also, you have this option that is Jetpack. It's another thing that we will talk later on about. Jetpack is a plugin that I really like a lot because it offers plenty of features to your website. Okay, so this is the dashboard. The other thing that you want to do, or at least I always do once I start a website, is simply go to Settings and click on General. On General, especially these first options on the top are the ones that you might want to change. Site title, you're probably wondering what exactly is this. Well, site title is exactly this title that appears over here. You may want to change this, and the tagline appears right below from the title. Things that you may want to change. I'm actually going to change this so you can see more exactly. Okay, so let's see how this will actually appear. So I'm just going to press Save Changes, refresh my website, and you can see that it immediately changes the title and the subtitle, or the tagline. But this is another thing that later on we are going to use Photoshop, which is basically a software that allows you to edit and create new images. And this is something that you can get for 30 days completely free. For a whole month you can use this software, which is really great. And you can basically create the images that you want for your website. So we are going to actually use that software to create a logo. So we won't need to have this title, neither this tagline appearing below. Below, this is another line that you may want to change, which is your WordPress address URL. So you might actually want to have the 3 W's, as you can see, www dot your domain name. And also, if you want to have this, also make sure to simply copy everything, select everything below, and just paste it. And make sure that both are exactly the same, or else there will be, it may actually create some conflicts with your website, and then you need to reinstall WordPress once again, and certainly something that you don't want. But actually, when it comes to my websites, I just don't like to have these W's, because I find it more easy for people, when you don't have these W's, for them to just read the domain name of your website. And I mean, basically it's easier for them to see the brand of your website. And that's exactly why I don't use the W's. But it's really up to you. If you like to have them, you can just have them that way. Okay, so let's just press save. And there we go. Okay, so once that is done, the other thing that you want to do immediately is simply change the appearance for your website. So basically the theme for your website, that's exactly what we are going to do now. So for you to do that, you simply go to Appearance and you select themes. Okay, so these are the three themes that you have at the moment available for your WordPress platform. As one of the great things about WordPress is that you can really easily change the whole look of your website in just a matter of seconds without needing to know how to program it or whatever. And also the other part is the content that you already wrote will always be there. Only if the theme has a bug, then it might actually create a conflict. So that's another thing that I always recommend once you change to a new theme, to always make a backup, and that's something that we will discuss more on part 2 from this video course. So I'm actually going to change the theme just by selecting on it and press activate. I just need to refresh my website, and you can see that it immediately changes the whole look for my website. So that's really one of the, I would say, one of the most impressive parts about WordPress, because when WordPress didn't exist, for you to do that, you would need to actually reprogram everything. You would need to use HTML to do this. And nowadays you can do this just in a matter of seconds just by changing the themes over here. Anyway, the theme that we are going to use is called Just Right. But you can also use whatever theme that you want. And actually, when it comes to the type of website that you want to create, for example, if you want to create a photographic website, it's really has a lot to do with the theme that you actually choose, because some themes are better for specific topics than others. So there are actually photographic themes just for websites where you want to show really impressive images from your work and so on. You can do that. And this is something that also that I'm going to do later on. I'm going to create a specific video just to show to you how you can do a photographic website and so on if you actually want to do that. But for you to actually choose a theme, you need to go to wordpress.org themes. You can even go to their website if you want to see more. For example, if you want to go to their website, you simply go over here, WordPress tickets.org. And you can see that over here you have this. You just need to go to the theme section. And here, over here you have really a huge selection of themes that you can choose from. And that's really one of the things great about WordPress, is that you can actually choose a theme, a design for a website that is completely free. You also have the premium ones, which commonly have a better design, a better programming, and also a better customer support, but you actually need to pay for those. Okay, so over here you can select plenty of themes. You can go also to the popular ones, which are the ones that people are most commonly using, at least at the moment, because this sometimes also changes. So you really have, you really have plenty of themes. And this is something that if you don't want to use the theme that I selected, you might want to spend it over here a few, at least, sometimes I actually spend a few hours just trying to select a theme that I enjoy for my website. So probably will take quite a while to see all of these themes until you find something that you actually enjoy. You also have latest ones. And when it comes to latest ones, these are the ones that were more recently published. Honestly, I would be careful with these ones because they still haven't been tested much by the community that belongs to WordPress and so on. So they might actually have some bugs that may ruin your website. Once again, this is something that I always recommend for you to do a backup, especially when you have more content in your website, because at the moment, if you don't have much content, it's not a big deal. You just need to reinstall WordPress once again and just restart. Okay, so I'm going to use the search box to find Just Right. Actually, this is the theme that I've been using for several websites that I have from prositutorials.org, and also another website that I have. I've been using this theme that I really enjoy. So now I'm just going to press install. And actually, I forget to mention, but you could do a preview by clicking on live preview just to get a better idea of how exactly it would look like on your website. Also, when it comes to the once you do a preview, you won't exactly get the same image or the same design that you see on the thumbnails. That's just because you need to work with your website until you get there. So now I'm just going to press save and active. And there you go. Now I already changed the design for my website. I'm going to close this window. And I'm going to the dashboard once again. Okay, so now that is done, the other thing that I want to do is activate Jetpack, because Jetpack is really a great plugin. And actually, if you don't have Jetpack with your installation, commonly once you install WordPress, it just comes with Jetpack included. But if you don't have this plugin, you simply go to the plugin section over here. You add new. On the search box, you search for Jetpack. I really enjoy this plugin. I basically use for every single website that I have. And now you just need to press install now, as you can see over here, and then you just need to activate the plugin. So let's go to Jetpack. Okay, for me to actually use Jetpack, I need to connect to a WordPress account. I already have one, so I'm just going to connect to it. So over here, I would need to connect to my WordPress account, so I'm going to do that. And if you don't have an account, you actually need to create one. I'm just going to connect. You actually need to create an account with WordPress, and that's pretty straightforward, so I'm not going to talk about that in much in detail. Okay, so once you activate Jetpack, you will get 27 features. See the other, actually it's more than 27. So basically 35 features that you get available for your website, and pretty much you can do a lot of things using this plugin. Now the thing that we are going to do is create 2 new pages. We're going to create our about page, because every single good website should have a about page where you talk a little about yourself, a little about your business, and so on. And because people always, when they go to a website and they are really interested, you make sure that you have an about page, because it's something that people really like to read. They like to see who is actually behind your website. And once you have an analytic program installed to your website, you will see actually many people going to that about page just to see who is behind the website. So you have actually pages and posts, and sometimes people actually have a hard time distinguishing one from another, which one they should use, which other they should use. Well, pages should be used for about pages, for a contact page, every single page that you want to have easy access to the people that actually visit your website. These are pages that don't really change a lot. I mean, once you create your about page, it's something that you will just stick to your website in a really visible part of your website, and basically you will just forget about it. And it's something that you want your visitors to easily have access to. So that's when you should use pages. Posts are basically for all the content that you want to write for your website. These are articles about tips, how to do this, about a special secret that you have belonging to your niche, about how to create this, and so on. So you use posts for all the content that you have in your website. And a good website should always have far more posts than pages. So in this case, we are going to use pages because we are going to add an about page, and it's something that I want to just stick on my website and keep it static. So I'm going to pages, and I'm going to press add new. Okay, so actually when it comes to the several features that you have over here or options, it's pretty much identical. If you have actually ever used any kind of test tool such as OpenOffice or something along those lines, the options that you have over here display are really similar. Actually, once you come over here, you want to press this small icon on the side, because once you click on it, you can see that a few more options appear. So I'm going to actually add a title. to my about page, and it will be about because that's exactly what it is. And over here I'm going to add just some proxy content because I don't want to waste my time writing content. So I'm just going to add some proxy content over here, copy and paste it. Okay, this is my about page. And now I'm going to add an image. So I'm going to add media. And actually, I'm going to upload from my computer. So I need to go to my computer for this desktop website. And I'm going to add over here an image. So I want to add this one, which is my photo. And over here, once you add an image, you can see that you have a title. This is the title for your image. And also an alt text. That means once your image doesn't appear, let's say that someone goes to your website, they have a problem, they cannot open an image. So they at least will get an alt text so they can get a better idea of what exactly that image would be about. So Jordan Alexo image. And basically that would give an idea. You can also write a description if you want. And there you go. Also, you can align to the left, to the center, to the right, the usual thing. And actually, you may want to link it. That means that once someone clicks on this image, they are redirected to another website. You might want to do that or not. In this case, I don't want it, so I'm going to put none. You can also choose a custom link, which is basically what I was explaining previously. So for example, if I had protutorials.org over here, and also I can change or choose the size for my image. So I'm just going to keep full size and insert into post. You can see that it appears on the side. Now I'm going to click on this small little button to do a preview so I can get a better idea before I actually publish this page. So once someone actually clicks on my image, they're actually taken to my main website, as you can see. And many times this is good once you are actually promoting a product. You put an image from the product and you want to link it to the sell page. So you might want to do this. Okay, so over here you have several options. You can do, for example, title 1. Let's call this title 1. And over here below we are going to call this title 2. And these options that you see over here are pretty much the same ones that you will see once we actually write our first post. They're pretty much identical. So you actually need to select the title or just leave it over here with this little thing clicking. I just forgot the name. So I'm going to add heading 1 for this. And below I'm going to add heading 2. So this would be like the main topic, the main title for my, in this case for my about page, and this would be my subtitle. I usually go down to heading 3. I very rarely use heading 4 or 5 or 6 and so on. Also, you can make your text bold by selecting whatever you want and clicking on this small B. You can also do the same thing with italic, or just cross a piece of text by using this option over here. You can also number stuff by using a number list, 1, whatever, as you can see. And this allows you to do a list. You can also do a bulletin point list the same way. And for you actually to remove yourself from the listing, you just need to click on this icon once more. As you can see, it removes me from that list. Okay, for you to create a link, it's really simple. You just select whatever you want. You go to this small chain that you see. You select it and you just write the link that you want over here. So I'm going to actually make this one to Google. And actually one thing that I commonly do is open a link in a new window, because I like when someone actually clicks on that link, they actually open a new window because that way they will still be on my website. So that's always a good idea to actually check this option. Okay, that's pretty much what you can do. There are several options over here, but actually you cannot see it much. For example, this one is good for posts. Insert read more tag. That means that it will cut the piece of text that appears below. And this is great just when you want to do small snipes appearing on your blog section of your website. You can do that. And later on, I'm going to actually do that for a post so you can see more exactly. And also to underline, same thing. You just click on this option and there you go, you have underline. You can also change the color for your text by selecting on it and going to the small a. You can pretty much change the color this way. And you can select everything that you have over here and just remove all the formatting just by clicking on this small rubber. You can see that all of the formatting just immediately disappeared. Also to align things, pretty much the same thing. You put the place where you want to align your text, and you can basically do this just to align things. So those are the options that you have over here, and basically it's always the same thing. It's really easy for you to use them. Okay, so now let's just publish this, my about page. Let's just publish it, and let's just refresh my website over here. Let's just refresh it. Actually, since my link is not appearing over here, I cannot see it. But my about page, which is this one. So that's how you can actually create an about page. And now let's do a contact page, because when you have a website, you always want to have a contact page in case someone goes to your website and they want to contact you through email. So for you to do that, once again, you go to all pages and you add new. Later on, we are actually going to add this about page to our navigation bar because at the moment it's not appearing, and we actually need to create a custom menu for that. So we can add the about page or custom or contact page and so on to our navigation bar. These are stuff that I'm going to talk later on. So over here, the title is going to be contact or contact me, whatever. Over here, I'm going to put some proxy text once more. Just like this. And below I'm going to add a contact form. And since I have Jetpack active, and this you really need to have Jetpack active so you can actually use this option, so you can add a contact form. Else if you don't have that option checked, this plugin checked, this option won't appear. So now let's just add a contact form by clicking on this option. And you can see these are the most common lines, the most common fields I mean. But you might actually want to add another field by clicking on this small link. You can actually select whatever you want. Let's say that you can even add a test area. Basically, you can, for example, you can actually edit it. You can add a label. As you can see, a label you can add about you. So basically, if someone wants to send you a message, they need to talk a little about themselves so you can get a better idea of who exactly they are. This is a great way for you to see if it's someone that you actually want to waste your time with. Okay, that's what you can do over here. Save this field. And for you to move things around, you just need to select on it and press this move button. And you can actually change the fields the way that you want. So let's put the email first, website, and over here the person needs to talk a little about themselves, and then they can add the comment. Also, email notification. This actually will receive your emails to the email that you added to your website. But you may want to change the email where you receive the email from that person that is trying to contact you. You can change it over here if you want. So I'm just going to add this contact form, and you can see that this piece of coding appears. Now we just need to do a preview, and this is how it would appear. So someone goes over here, they want to contact you, they have the name, their email, their website, they talk a little about themselves, and they had a comment or whatever they want to talk with you. Then you receive an email to your inbox. In this case, it would be the email that I actually use for my website once I actually install it. So now I'm just going to publish it. So basically those are the first two pages that you always want to have to a website. Now for you to actually make a post, and actually we are going to do the first post, you get to post and you add new. Once again, this would be an article about whatever. So let's say that since I really like a lot about cooking, okay, let's say that this is a post about a really delicious meat dish. So I'm actually going to just copy some content over here from this website, as you can see. And let's just, now this is looking huge because it's actually adding heading 1 for some reason. So I'm just going to change it to a paragraph, and just let's align everything. Okay, so I'm going to add over here a subtitle 2, and just make it a heading 2, just like that. Okay, now let's add an image over here, a really nice looking image for this. So for us to actually add an image, we go to add media. In this case, I'm going to select the image that I want, which is over here, and I'm going to add this one, this meat dish. And once again, you might want to actually change your alt text, the description, and so on. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to add this image to the side, as you can see, just like that. And basically that's how you would actually write a post for your website. Let's do a preview. Okay, that's how you would actually add a post. Once again, you might actually want to change this if you want to add a comment section. As you can see, it doesn't appear at the moment. You need to go to screen options. You press discuss. Just over here on the top, you press discuss. And you can see that these two options now appear. You need to select the allow comments. You might want to add pingbacks on your website or not. And now I'm just going to publish it. Okay. And now I'm just going to refresh my website. And you can see that below now I have a comment section for my website. Okay, that's how you can actually write a post. And now I'm just going to do I'm just going to quickly do over here a logo from my website, and I'm going to change a bit of the design for my website. Okay, so for me to change the design, I need to go to appearance, and I just need to select customize. Okay, and customize is basically where you can actually change basically everything from your website. So I'm going over here. Once again, I'm not going to change the title, neither the tagline for my website. I actually want to create a logo for my website. So for this, I'm going to actually use Photoshop, which is this software that you see over here right in front of you. This is Photoshop. And actually, if you want more details of how you can use it, you have a link below from another video where I explain this more in detail. Over here, I'm just going to give you just some quick instructions of how you can actually do a logo on Photoshop. So once you actually install Photoshop, and I actually recommend for you to do that first before you continue watching the rest from this video. Once you enter, this is the toolbar, and basically on the toolbar you have several options that allow you to configure your images. So the first thing that you want to do is simply go to File, and you want to press New, and over here you want to add the width and the height for your logo. Let's say 300 pixels, and the height will be 100 pixels. I'm not sure if this will be a really great size for the logo, because many times I actually need to test it several times until I find exactly what I want. Okay, so now this opens, and this is the layer where basically I'm going to work with. Actually, there's a window that is not appearing over here, which is the layer one. So if one of these windows aren't appearing, you actually need to go to Windows and select them. So in this case, I want the layer one, which is this one. So this is the layer, and the layer that I'm using now at the moment is the background one, which is the first layer, and I'm actually going to unlock it because if it's actually locked, I can now work with my layer. So I just double click on it, this window appears, and I just press OK. Okay, now it's unlocked, and now I'm just going to do a logo, really simple one, nothing special, really easy to do. If you want, you can complicate more, especially if you watch the video that I mentioned where I go more in detail of how I actually did the logo for pro site tutorials. You may want to check that so you can get a few more tips of how you can actually do a really impressive logo. This video I'm just going to do something really simple so you can also do it over there on your computer really quickly. Okay, so the thing that you want to do is simply click on this small T so you can add some text to your logo. And you simply select on the screen where you want to write. And in this case, I'm going to select the font that I want to use. This is something that actually you can find plenty of fonts on the internet. And basically what makes a good logo is really the font that you decide to choose. I always recommend for you to use a font that is really easy to read. Nothing really complicated like this. Let's see. Actually, you cannot even view it because it's way too big. But, I mean, this is... Okay, this is a bit way too much. This is something that nobody would actually want to use. But, let's say this one. Because, like this, I mean, it might actually even look good for you. But honestly, this is way too complicated for most people to read. So I always recommend for you to use something that is really simple for people to actually read. Okay, so I'm going to choose another one. Let's try this one. Okay, now it's way too big. So for you actually to change the size, you simply need to double click where you want. And actually I'm going to increase this window a bit so you can see more exactly what I'm doing over here. So you just need to select all, or you can just press Control A to select everything that you have over here. Basically that's the hotkeys. So I'm going to just reduce the size by clicking on this option. Okay, cooking blog. That's a really unique title, as you can see. And actually this font is just way too big. I'm going to select another one because this is just a font that is way too fat, you could say. So like this one. Okay, this is a bit better. It's easier for people to actually read. Okay, so I'm going to increase once again the size. Okay, way too big. That looks a bit better. And actually I'm going to add some guidelines because this way it's just way too hard for me to actually align things. So I just get to view, and over here I'm going to add a new guide. And as you can see, it's now at the moment selected on vertical, so I'm going to add 50%, and you can see that a small line appears. And now I'm going to repeat the same process, but in this case for horizontal, and once again select, in this case, 50%, and this way I can actually have some guidelines to really center my logo. Okay, so I'm going to center it, and it looks centered. And now I'm going to just select everything. Once again, make sure that you are selecting the correct layer. As you can see, there are two layers at the moment. This is from my test. So if I actually want to work with my test, I need to select that one. Just press the small A so I can actually configure the test that I have over here. I just click on it, select everything, so I can actually change the color over here on the top section. You can also go to the small boxes that appear below to do the same thing. As you can see, I always like red when it comes to this. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, so we are going to keep this. Actually, they have italic. Actually, I prefer regular. And over the below, I'm just going to add a subtitle. It's called Delicious Dishes. Delicious dishes. So I'm going to decrease the size a bit, and now I'm actually going to select everything, go to the small arrow, and as you can see, this allows me to align more easily because I have this small, actually I'm going to zoom in, this small squares, as you can see, on the sides and also on the middle, and this allows me to more easily guide and center everything. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, now I have 3 layers, and now I'm going to actually create a new layer just by clicking on this small icon that appears over here to create a new layer. I'm just going to put a small line on the center. For me to actually do that, I get to repeat the same process so you can see more exactly. Also make sure that you are selecting the new layer. I just go over here to this small little icon, and this allows me to select a portion that I want to use. I'm going to do this really thin, and now I'm just going to use the bucket because I want to actually paint this small section over here. Let's see if I actually, okay, that is exactly what I wanted to do. Now I'm just going to then select everything by clicking on this icon and double clicking on it. Okay, now I'm going to actually center the small bar over here. And actually, that's how you can really do a really simple logo just by using these options that you saw. Sure, you can always do a bit more work if you want. Let's say that you want to add a small shadow over here. There are 2 ways to actually add a shadow, but the one that you may actually want to use is, I'm going just to duplicate this layer. That means that now I have 2 layers. And I'm going to select the one that is below because I have 2 layers. The one that appears on top is actually on top of the one over here. Okay, so this one I'm going to select, and I'm going to select everything, and I'm going to turn this piece of text black so I can add a shadow. In this case, actually, I chose the wrong layer, as you can see. So I'm just going to select on it, click on the small arrow, and just drag it below like this. And now, once again, what I'm going to do is just reposition this. And you can see that now I have a small shadow appearing, just like this. This really depends sometimes on the font that you're using. Some fonts actually look better than this one when it comes to the shadow. You can also do the same thing for the one that appears below. Actually, I'm going to just push this a bit more below, as you can see, and you can just click on it twice, and you can see over here you have some effects that you can add to your font. So for you to actually add a shadow, you just need to press on drop shadow, and you can see that a shadow immediately just drops like this. Sometimes this is something that you might want to use for your logo. It really depends. You can actually increase the opacity this way, the distance, just like this. You can actually spread it more, make it really dark, like this, or just increase the size. Basically, if you actually see, it basically has the same effect that in this case, how as you can see now, it basically has the same effect that I did previously. And basically that's how you can do shadows. In this case, I'm just going to leave the one on the top. Actually, I'm going to try and just make it look a bit better. Actually, this font is a bit too thin for this, so it doesn't look ideal. Okay, so now we have a logo, and actually let me see if everything is centered. It seems so. Okay, now we have a logo, so now I'm going just to save it on my computer. In this case on WordPress blog. And in this case I'm going to save it as a PNG because I want my back to actually be transparent. Actually, for me to do that, I need to cancel this and I just need to delete the background. As you can see now, I will save it as a transparent background. But this only works as a PNG file. It doesn't work if you actually use JPEG for this. So now I'm going to save it as a PNG and I'm going to call it logo, and I'm just going to leave it this way. There you go. Now I have a logo for my website, and now I just need to upload it to my new website. Let's go back to my website, and now I'm going to logo image and I'm going to press select image, and I'm going to select the image that I have now over here on my computer. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, once again, you can add an alt text, you can add a description if you want, but I'm not going to do that. Okay, now I have a logo for my website, and actually I'm going to change the background. For me to do that, I need to go to header background image. But if you don't want to add an image to this header section, which is this section on the top, you don't need to do that. You actually can change the color over here, as you can see, to white or to red, or you can basically choose whatever color you want. I'm going to add an image for this. I already did this image, which is background. I'm just going to press choose, and it doesn't look bad. And I'm just going to save and publish. Problem I found would be better if it was white because it would just appear more easily and people would see more exactly. Okay, that is done over here. Now you actually have several options, and this is something that you really need to play around. You can change the link color for your website. Let's make it red. Main link colors. That means that all of my links on my website will appear red. You can actually not see it at the moment. Actually, I'm not certain if this post has a link or not. I think it doesn't. Okay, so this would change my main link colors. Over is when someone is actually with their mouse on top of the link, it actually changes the color. You might actually want to change the color over here. So I'm going to actually choose another red that is more bright. Some menu links. This is the links that appear on the menu. You might want to change this. Actually, I'm going to choose white because I'm going to make this sidebar appear another color. Actually, this is from the sub menu. So these are the main links. This one are going to be white. These are the links when someone actually visits that link. It will appear with a different color. Let's choose over here, let's say blue. Links overstate. Actually, this has really this theme really has a lot of link color options, and most commonly I just use like 3 or 4 options when it comes to links. Global background colors. These are the background colors for your website, and also this little buttons that you see over here. You can also change that through this options. Okay, let's make this one black. Actually, I'm going to leave this colors over here. As you can see, really have a lot of options. This theme is really impressive because of that, because you have so many options to just configure the colors of your website until you have something that you enjoy. And over here you can actually choose other colors, border colors. Once again, you can pretty much play around with the colors that you have over here until you have what exactly you want. And this is actually this small borders that you can see over here. You can actually choose this. I really don't want to stretch much. I just want the font color. I'm going to actually change the size or the font for my content. So I just go over here to content, and I'm going to choose 3. Actually, this is the font that I have for Pro Tutorial. Once again, when it comes to fonts, it's really, actually the size for the font in this theme is really good, but some of the issues that I commonly see is people, when I go to website, people have a font that is way too small for the website, and any visitor that actually goes to their website will have a hard time actually reading the content there. So it's really a good idea for you to have a good size font. In this case, this is an ideal size. It's really easy for people to actually read. Now actually I'm going to change the background for my navigation bar. This is what I actually was trying to find. So I'm actually going to make it black. Everything black. Just like that. At the moment I don't have any menu to select. So basically that's how you can change everything belonging to your website. Now let's just refresh it and just see the changes that I did. As you can see, it looks really good, it looks really professional, and it's really easy to use this theme to basically change your website until you have something that looks really great. Only thing that I don't like is over here I still have my tagline, so I'm just going to delete that. So once again, I go to the customizing options and I go to site title and tagline, and basically I just delete this line. And actually I'm going to delete the one on the top. Save, publish, refresh my website, and there you go. I don't have that line appearing. Okay, this is a post. Okay, so now I'm going to do a small break, and in part 2 I'm going to complete this website. I'm going to show to you how you can actually create a menu. I still need to add a few more posts, so that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm going to add a few posts, and in part 2 we are going to talk about how you can actually create menus, how you can add widgets, some really interesting plugins that you should add to your website that will have some really good features, such as how you can back up your website and so on. So stay there, stay tuned to part 2 from this video course where I show you how to do a really professional blog.